the mayor understands that New York City as a public safety issue. He's got a lot of illegal aliens that have committed crimes in the city, and he wants to work with me to remove those public safety threats. He also wants to work with me to find we've got over 300,000 missing children that were trafficked into this country that this administration cannot find. So he's going to also help me on this human trafficking front. So when it comes to criminal aliens and human trafficking, he's with me.
Well, that was Tom Homan, Donald Trump's incoming border czar, and he was speaking Thursday night with our very own Greta Van Susteren, and they were talking about his meeting with New York City Mayor Eric Adams in New York, saying of the mayor, he's with me.
He's with me. That's a great line. Now, joining us is former New York Congressman and board member of the Independent Women's Forum, Dr. Nan Hayworth, and president and executive editor of the Daily Signal, Robert Bluey. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Nan, let me start with you. What do you make of this meeting between Homan and Mayor Adams, who's obviously a Democrat, forming this partnership to solve this horrendous migrant crisis here in New York City? What is sea change, at least in my perspective? What do you think?
Well, I agree with you, Tom. It's very encouraging. And I think it sparked, in part, on the mayor's part, and perhaps entirely so. Number one, I do think he genuinely cares about his city. I think he does want to do the right thing. And look, New Yorkers spoke as well. And even though President Trump did not win the city of New York, he and Republicans have made significant advances in the state of New York. And in fact, as we all know, the entire country basically, but for a couple of very small places, shifted red. Governor Pritzker in Illinois is starting to change his tune as well. And I think it's because they recognize that the people they serve are also making clear that they cannot abide the lawlessness, the crime, the harm and the deaths that have occurred among citizens who are simply trying to make their way, raise their families, and work in the city of New York and all over the country. So this is very heartening. Tom Homan needs the cooperation of these mayors and these governors. To have Eric Adams, the biggest city in the United States and arguably the most important one, that's a big step forward.
Well, Robert, do you expect Homan to form these kinds of partnerships with other mayors and cities around the country? And how much easier does this make his job? Because I've read there's some governors and mayors who are going to refuse to work with him.
Like in Boston.
Yes.
There certainly will be those on the far left who are absolutely opposed to giving any sort of cooperation to Donald Trump or Tom Homan. But as Nan just pointed out, I think that these governors and big city mayors realize that this is an issue that is overwhelmingly popular. People don't want to be living in crime-ridden cities where they feel threatened just to go shopping or to work. And so if Tom Homan is able to get the cooperation of people like Eric Adams or others across the country, I do think it makes the job a lot easier. And remember, Donald Trump and Tom Homan have said they're going to focus first on those violent criminals who are here illegally. I mean, eventually, yes, anybody who's here illegally has broken the law and should be deported. But first and foremost, we need to take care of the crime problem that has infested so many of these cities. And so I'm confident that Tom Homan, being somebody who has been honored by people like Barack Obama for his service in the Border Patrol, should get the deference of these Democrats, regardless of their feelings about President Trump.
Sure.
Yep. Well,
let's pivot here. We're going to talk about Christopher Wray. He says he will resign as director of the FBI when Donald Trump takes office. Trump reacting on social media, saying in part, "The resignation of Christopher Wray is a great day for America, as it will end the weaponization of what has become known as the United States Department of Injustice. I look forward to Kash Patel's confirmation so that the process of making the FBI great again can begin." Now, Dr. Nan, Wray was originally appointed by Trump. What went wrong here?
Well, Christopher Wray, in the eyes of millions of Americans, including me, and obviously including President Trump, who's the man who will change this, But he betrayed the mission of the FBI as one of protecting the citizens of the United States from crime. It's not terribly difficult to define the mission, and yet what did his FBI, with his evasive answers about all this in the Congress, what did his FBI do? It allowed itself, he allowed this agency, he was the head, to be part of the Democrats' lawfare and harassment of political enemies, including parents asking questions at school board meetings, including pro-life advocates who had done nothing wrong. So I think it's a great thing for America that Mr. Wray is taking himself out of this. And I'm confident that Kash Patel will make the changes that need to be made.
Yeah, Robert, keeping with the theme of change, how do you expect Kash Patel to change the culture at the FBI? And do you expect any issues during his confirmation process?
Oh, of course. I mean, he is one of probably a handful of nominees who Democrats will target and try to derail. I think so far we have seen no hard nose from Republican senators when it comes to President Trump's nominees. So I expect them all to be confirmed, I should say. But in terms of what Kash Patel needs to do, first of all, let's remember that Kash Patel has seen from the outside what goes on inside the FBI. I mean, he used to work for Devin Nunes, a former congressman, and so he understands the culture does need to change. I think first and foremost, these intelligence gathering responsibilities that were given to the FBI after 9/11 probably need to either be stripped away from the FBI or certainly reformed. As Nan said, they need to get back to their core mission of law enforcement, stop spying on the American people, stop targeting people for their political beliefs. That's one of the things that has probably been most egregious. And it's really sad that Christopher Wray squandered this opportunity. I mean, he could have been a historic figure in the FBI's history. Instead, he just went along with the deep state and made no reforms that were really necessary.
Yeah, he became Comey, too.
Unbelievable. All right, Dr. Nan and Robert Bluey, thanks so much for joining us this morning.